Ah, there you are. Just caught me packing. I'm not one for travelling much. Why would you when you're living in the greatest country in the world? But there's one small corner of a foreign field that does hold a special place in my heart, and they need my help. So I'm heading east to the exotic Orient, to Hong Kong, the fragrant harbour, Asia's world city, where east meets west and goes for a pint together. You see, the Cathay Pacific HSBC Hong Kong Rugby Sevens turns 40 this March, and they're looking for someone to sort out the party. Someone who's no stranger to a function room, who can not only pour a pint, but if necessary, also create a fruit-based cocktail for the ladies. Pippa Middleton wasn't available. Crikey. So, they've called in the landlord, and I'm bringing my nuts. Now, 40 is an important birthday in anybody's books, and particularly for the event that has become the Mardi Gras of World Rugby. But it wasn't always that way. Oh no. Like all the world's greatest ideas, the Sevens were thought up by two blokes in a bar back in 1976, probably wearing safari suits and almost certainly smoking pipes. Proper gentlemen. Not that they actually invented Rugby Sevens, that was invented by a Scotsman, so he was probably wearing a skirt, but I understand he was a butcher, so at least he had a proper man's job. Over the years, as the Hong Kong Sevens has grown, so has the interest in the sport worldwide. Now there is an annual World Series with 9 tournaments, a Sevens World Cup, and in 2016 there'll be Rugby Sevens in the Rio Olympics. Marvellous, really. It brings a tear to the eye, doesn't it? But I digress. This year, 120,000 punters will pass through the gates of the Hong Kong Stadium from the 27th to the 29th of March, half of them overseas visitors like me. This is a few more than the last lock-in in our lounge bar, but I got the basics covered. Hong Kong is famed as a culinary oasis, so no worries there. I've got the music sorted with a live performance by the legendary Village People. What? Yeah. And there are 28 rugby teams and 70 games of rugby to keep you out of mischief. There are also lots of Sevens traditions you can join in with, wearing fancy dress, singing Sweet Caroline, and booing the Australian team. No one knows why that started, but it seems like a good idea nonetheless. Of course, no visit to Hong Kong would be complete without taking in the sights of the fabled harbour, the Peak, and the world's largest sitting Buddha, not to mention the nightlife. Sevens Week sees Hong Kong at its buzzing best. Packed restaurants, hotels full to bursting, bouncing bars. And this is already one of the busiest and most densely populated cities in the world. And although it's home to kung fu legends like Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan and Hong Kong Phooey, it's safe. Well, it would be, based on English common law, you see. Of course, there's a lot of shared history and culture between Hong Kong and Britain, you know. Everyone speaks English, you can watch Downton Abbey on the TV, and everyone loves a nice cup of tea. Many of the street names and buildings are also named after famous Brits. So, join me in Hong Kong in March. It's the 6th round of the HSBC Rugby Sevens World Series, and this round is on the landlord.